Okay, folks, I think Surging Blades either got nerfed or it was in fact overhyped to begin with. Let me explain. Here we are in the simulacrum with Yoreli. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up against some corrupted heavy gunners. Now, what I want you to notice is at the start, how much damage are we doing with these Surging Blades? So we're going to activate Aqua Blades. I'm going to attack this first corrupted heavy gunner. And we did 38 damage. 38 damage. 38 damage, right? Now, of course, the bleeds are still doing 468 damage, right? Awesome. So, let's go ahead and, really build up our Surging Blade count. Like so. If you look at the top right-hand corner, we're into the 20,000 extra damage mark, 27,000, 30,000 extra damage. Awesome. This is shaping up to be really, really good. And of course, these corrupted heavy gunners are dying to the slash procs, as per usual. Wonderful. Now, if we were to reset these guys, like so. There's about 20 seconds left. How much damage are we going to do against them? 38 damage. 38 damage. We're still doing the same amount of damage. Game's frozen. Okay, we're good. So, what this clearly shows is that the damage bonus from Surging Blades doesn't actually affect the spinning blades, which was actually what I thought was going to be the case. I thought that was going to be the case when they released, when they showed off the augment during the DevStream. I thought that was going to be the case when they put out the augment, because that's exactly what the augment said earlier. But, I think the wording's changed between now and then, which means that D probably saw the augment being ludicrously overpowered, as it was, by the way, and, they've, proceeded to nerf it. So, depending on who you are, you may believe that that is completely unnecessary. Does it affect the actual Throne Blade? Yes. The Throne Blade does appear to do more damage regardless. So, 861, 872 now, 880, 884. That is growing. So it's definitely affecting the Throne Blade, but it is not affecting the spinning ones. Like so. So definitely this is now an augment that you should use to spam your third ability until, of course, your duration runs out, in which case then you want to start building it up with the spinning blades so that you can just continue to throw more of the actual Throne Blade. So let's have a look at the build that we're using with Yoreli, and this is the build that I am using with Yoreli. Basically, I don't want to put another former into this Warframe because she is obviously not a non-prime Warframe. I make a point of not really sticking a whole lot of former into non-prime Warframes, so that's why I'm just kind of working with what I have at the present moment. We are of course using a Blind Rage, we're of course using an August Secrets, because that way we can have as much power strength as possible. The Surging Blade's extra damage per hit being 10%, that of course doesn't get affected by power strength, but it is 10% of the amount of damage that your Surging Blades actually does, so therefore having extra power strength will of course increase the base power strength of your Aqua Blades, which of course will in turn increase the amount of extra damage that you're getting from Surging Blades. Auger Reach and Stretch, so that I have a lot of range. I just prefer to have that. I think some people prefer to run 100% power range on Yoreli, so then they just have to hug people, but I like the idea of my spinning blades spinning around with some range, so that's just going to be for me. Prime Flow and Preparation. Prime Flow and Preparation, of course, being really, really good, because Yoreli actually has some really decent energy efficiency, especially with something like Surging Blades now. Basically means that you can just constantly spam your third ability and not have to worry about energy. So on top of that, you can just, from occasion, use your first ability to crowd control some enemies. On occasion, use your fourth ability to also suck enemies in and crowd control them as well. And then, of course, Mirror Leader is not even an energy over time ability, as far as I can tell. So that's absolutely perfectly fine. And then, of course, we're going to use Prime Continuity for the extra duration. Aqua Blades already last for a very long time, but it can always last even longer, and extra duration does mean that you have more opportunity for your Surging Blades to get even more damage accumulated for the Throne Blade. So at that point, running Prime Continuity will give you a ton of value on that. Originally, I was not going to be using Natural Talent, and I was instead going to replace this with something like Streamline, but upon further examination, because if you're on Merolina, your thrown blades don't actually cost any energy at all, suddenly that just kind of really negates the purpose of having energy efficiency, or at least having a lot of energy efficiency, or even just 100% efficiency. So at that point, we're just going to be using Natural Talent instead. This allows you to really just spam those blades willy-nilly, so that of course just massively increases your damage output. Otherwise, we're using Arcane Energize and Arcane Aegis because that's always been the case with Durelli, at least prior to this augment, and it'll probably be the case until something new comes out. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Urelli is now effectively a tank with really high damage output against specifically armored enemies, and I guess infested as well. Against shields, like against Corpus, it's a little bit here and there, because of course slash procs don't exactly do a whole lot against shields, so at that point that's really just more of a slash proc issue as opposed to a Urelli issue. But does that mean that she is bad against Corpus? Not really. It's not ideal, but if you run something like a magnetic weapon, for example, if you run a Sentinel with a magnetic weapon, then those shields are going to be getting burned really quickly as well, and that way then you can just hit that flesh as well. Alternatively, one way to, of course, massively increase the amount of damage that your spinning blades does is to just basically run a Sentinel with a viral weapon. For example, the Cryota with this viral weapon. Because in that way, viral procs will can stack up on an enemy, and that of course also increases the amount of damage that your slash procs do. So that is of course going to be really useful. So potentially one of the best universal setups that you can set up is to run viral damage on your secondary weapon, because remember, you can still use a secondary weapon when you're on Merolina. And then also have a Sentinel that is using a weapon that does magnetic damage, and then that way you have magnetic procs, you have viral procs, and then Surging Blades, and by extension Aqua Blades, is able to just use those slash procs to do as much damage to everything as possible. That's probably going to be the way I would set up Urelli, at least just for universal shenanigans. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. What do you reckon about Urelli? Is she now an S tier tank who does a ton of damage, or is she still not that good? I think she's pretty good. I think she was always pretty good anyway, but you know, that's just me. But that's where it'll be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!